But I have to be honest with you.
No.
I feel abandoned. Do you know that we were so close for a while, and it's been over 10 years since you've been back here?
I wasn't keeping track.
I have been. You were one of my favorite guests to have on the show. Do you know that we are responsible for so many things that has happened to you over the years?
No, I give you guys credit all the time.
I know.
I give you credit all the time.
I got to tell you, it bugged me, and then it made me happy that you remembered us. But then David Spade made me very angry. In fact, I'm going to play the audio clip for you. This is the audio clip that I'm referring to with Kevin Nealon on the podcast with David Spade and I assume Dana Carvey. They do the podcast together.
Yeah.
Play this clip, Carmen.
No, I remember one time I was in Tampa, and they had one of these DJs or radio personalities, that are just morning zoo kind of guy, high energy, And I go in there, and I was going through an AFib episode at the time, and my heart was irregular. And if it goes too long, you got to have it shocked back, And I don't have that anymore, but at the time I did. And he goes, "How do you get rid of it?" I said, "Well, you got to be kind of shocked back, with the paddles." And he goes, "Oh, that's crazy." And then, like a minute later, he's got an air gun under his desk. He sounds off the air gun. I almost fell off my chair. And he goes, "Did that work? Did that work? Did that work?"
Oh, he's trying to actually get you back to life and
shock you.
And a medical procedure that could have killed you.
It could have killed me, but on the way back to the hotel, I actually did go back the regular.
You're welcome. There you go. That was us. We don't have it in here, so don't be prepared. I'm being honest with you. There'll be no train horns. There'll be nothing going on today.
Well, I'm over that anyway. I had a procedure that fixed it. I had to get the air horn out of my butt.
Yeah.
They surgically removed it. But yeah, I tell that story a lot, especially friends of mine that have AFib.
Yeah.
A lot of people say
I can help them all out.
You probably have it.
My dad had it. I should take my dad I should walk up behind him and train horn him.
Oh my! I almost fell off the stool.
Yeah.
I could have had a heart attack.
There were a couple of people that have fallen. There were people who spilled drinks. I mean, it was pretty good for a while. We had a good run with that thing. Well, we did it. Like at that point, we had just gotten it. There was the guy who makes them.
I was a test rabbit.
You were one of them, yeah. The guy who makes their actual train horns that you would get on a train, and they install them in cars. And at the time, I drove a big Hummer, and I had it in the Hummer. And I will tell you that it relieved so much road rage from me. Like I didn't want to fight anymore. I would just hit the horn and scare people, and it would make me so happy. So then I said to the guy, I go, "Do you think we could put a horn blaster horn in the studio?" And he said, "Yeah, we can do that." So we actually had to hook up a tank in my office. He ran the wires through the drop ceiling and then under the desk. And then we were like, "Where can we put it?" And we put it right under your nuts, right where it would go to scare. And I mean, we've knocked people off the bench before. I mean, it was good. It was a good little run that we had with that thing.
I'm sure it was.
Then everybody started stealing the idea, and it became.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they're doing the same exact thing we were doing.
Do you know why I couldn't remember your name? Because you were going by some screwy name back then.
I was Cowhead at the time.
Cowhead.
Yeah,
There's a cow man in Chicago.
Yeah, Man Cow. Yeah,
Man Cow.
Yeah, so, I don't really care. Like I like when you're a radio guy and a talk radio host, the absolute worst thing you could say to somebody is you're a morning zoo kind of guy. And I know that wasn't your intention, but that stabbed me right in the heart. And then David Spade, when I
got even with you then.
But you did good. You said, a personality. You were trying to be nice. And then Spade's like, no, personality. I only
By
took
the
that
way,
with Stern.
how could he think we were part of a morning zoo with a guy named Cowhead and a train horn?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Call yourself whatever you want, man. Call you whatever you want to call you. That was a zoo in there.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I also can tell you that your son is 18 years old.
Yeah.
Because we had just had kids about the same time.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
What kind of man is your son?
How old is your son right now?
18. Our kids are... You got me. You walked me right into that. What is your son doing? Is he doing anything?
Well, he's applying to colleges. He's applied to almost every community college in the country. Some of the better ones, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. What is he doing? He's really studious.
Oh, really? I was going to say really stupid. I was going to like, mine too.
Well, you could be stupid and studious
True,
at the same time.
True, yeah.
It just doesn't mean the studying is kicking in. But he is into, he likes the video games with his friends.
Yeah.
And he likes ping pong. We play hellacious ping pong games.
Do you really?
I used to let him win.
Yeah.
And now he won't let me win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he also loves Legos, believe it or not.
A lot of people do. I have a whole TV show about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking at first, man, he is not, advancing. Like his buddies are into girls and stuff, and he's like, hey, can we get this Star Wars Lego? And then I watched the David Beckham documentary. He's into Legos.
Legos,
too.
yeah. A lot of adults are. That's very weird.
They put on the headphones, they watch YouTube, and they start building it, and it takes the place of Adavan.
Yeah. Does your son? I don't think I've had the opportunity to ask you this, but I do ask a lot of celebrities this. Does your son realize that you're cool? Does he know that you've done cool stuff before, or are you just dad to him?
He's fighting it.
He is.
But a lot of people are like Conan O'Brien will come up and say, do you know how funny your dad is? Do you know how great he is? So I think enough of that, he'll finally, get into it. But the thing about him is he won't call me dad.
What was he calling you?
Well, he was calling me Kev for a while.
Was he really?
Yeah.
My daughter called me Michael for a little bit, yeah.
And I said, you don't have to call me by my first name. I kind of like dad.
Yeah.
Because I earned that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of feels good to have your
son call you
dad.
Yeah.
But he's close.
I would still take daddy if I could. If I can get a daddy, I would take that in a second.
That's weird as a teenage boy, though.
He's not your teenage boy. Yeah. If Kevin's son called me daddy,
my wife calls me daddy.
That's hot. That's hot.
And she looks a lot younger than I do because she's 18 years younger. And if she calls me daddy, I say, don't call me daddy in public. People are going to think you're my
Is
daughter.
She really 18 years younger than you?
Yeah.
God bless you. Good for you.
So when she calls me daddy, again, if we're like waiting for a table at a restaurant, I just start making out with her. It freaks everybody out.
Do it bug you though? Like, my wife's only 6 years younger than me, but she looks way better than I do.
Oh yeah.
And
well, she's had a lot of work done, right?
No, she's surprisingly no. We first moved in here. The guard at the gate was like, "Oh, your dad just went in 5 minutes before you." And I was like,
"Oh, brutal." I had an Uber driver ask if I was the grandfather.
Oh, did you? He didn't even go dad. He went grandfather
because I had the walker at the time.
Yeah. Where do you meet this young woman?
I met her. This is crazy. 20 years ago, I was going to do a friend's pilot for a talk show.
Right.
John Henson. He used to be on talk show.
I know John, yeah.
And he had me and Kevin James and Ray Romano. And I was doing another
solid
show.
lineup.
Solid lineup. I was doing another show at the time. And I was hosting a show. And then I got there late anyway. And I go to the makeup trailer. And she's sitting there. And they're waiting behind, as they always are.
Right.
And she looks totally bored. And she looks really cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been divorced for a couple of years. And I was wondering on the way over there, I wonder if I'll ever meet somebody who's, who I'll have a kid with, or I wonder if I'll ever have a kid, basically, is what the thing is, because time was going by. And I walk into this trailer, and I see her, and there's nobody else in there except for my makeup artist, a couple chairs down.
Uh-huh.
I say hi to her. I sit in my makeup artist chair, and I said to my makeup artist, loud enough for her to hear, I said, you hear about single actresses adopting a kid. I wonder if a single guy could adopt a kid.
Oh, way to slide it in.
It was either she said the best pickup line or the most obvious, or you're real about it, But I can't remember what I think I was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted a kid, and then we hung out the rest of that night. We laughed and we exchanged numbers. And I said, you want to go out with a drink with everybody tonight? Because we're all going out for a drink. She goes, I got to get up early in the morning.
Oh, she blew you off.
So I said, okay. Yeah. And I helped her carry her stuff back to the car. What I found out later was she had to go back and break up with her boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that great?
That is great.
And that boyfriend, John Hamm. Kidding.
John Hamm. Yeah.
His wife is an actress. We were just talking about Parks and Rec because she was on Parks and Rec for a little while. She did
She's
spot
recurring
on there.
Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, she did the last Christopher Guest movie called Mascots.
Oh,
with Parker Posey. They were both co-starring.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one. So yeah, that's her, and that's how I met her.
And you've been together this whole time, and you had the kid with her.
Well, I met my son as he was coming out of her vagina.
Right. That's where he was housed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said to him, you hear a lot about dads helping with the birth. I wonder if I could help with this birth.
What did you do in the birth? Did you have
Everything.
a role? They
Everything.
didn't offer me nothing.
Well, I was afraid I would have to cut the umbilical cord.
I was ready to do that, and they didn't even let me.
I brought my own scissors. And so I get there.
Butterfly knife.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, right away, she's got me helping.
Yeah.
I got to hold her. She instructed me to hold her left leg open up in the air, which is how I got there in the first place. And then I just, then one thing led to another. She goes, do this, pull that out, pull on that. and I'm pulling on the baby, and he's not coming out.
Oh, you were
on
pulling the
head. Yeah,
baby. I don't
pulling
want
the
to do
baby.
that. I don't trust
I didn't
myself
want
with
to
that.
do it either.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling on his neck. He's not coming out.
His
the
neck?
is just it's elongating, you know. And I had to get him in the headlock. And I pulled him out, and the first thing I noticed was we didn't know what the sex was going to be, and I noticed he had a penis.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see that. It's the only time I've been happy to see a penis in my life. And then I cut the umbilical cord, and I did so well. I went across the hall and delivered 2 more babies.
My wife had a C-section.
Oh,
and
I wish I could have done that.
Me too. I wanted to, they were like, if you're queasy, I go, I'm not. I'm ready to see it all. And they're like, we have to take her a test. I go, I want to see the whole, like, I want to be a part of. And the doctor yelled at me. She was like, sit down. And she made me sit down behind the curtain with my wife, like where her head was. And I was like,
oh my God. Where'd they put her head? They take the head off?
No, they left the head there, but they put like a curtain on her chest so neither one of us could see beyond.
I get it. I don't
not
blame you.
Yeah, it's not very exciting, but at least it worked out.
But it took her a while to recover from that, right?
Not too long. It wasn't too bad, but yeah. We'd stairs at the time, and it was hard for her to go up the stairs for a couple of days. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
So
she'll get over it.
She's fine now. Yeah, so only one kid. You didn't have another one. You didn't like that one enough, or you liked that one too much?
No, we tried to have another kid.
Oh,
but she was never home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I never saw her again after that kid. But, I'm glad I had. How many kids do you have?
Do you know it's so hard for me, not that I often picture this, but to picture you as a sexual being because you're so silly. And I know at some point you have to be serious and you have to put the sexy face on. And it's so hard for me to imagine that for you.
Do you imagine that a lot?
I'm in my head now trying to picture you.
Can you show
on top?
Can you show
top?
You're on top.
Okay.
Like to put the moves, like to come in there suave and put the moves
You would
on.
be surprised. Man, my voice changes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it goes about 2 octaves lower. And I'm on it. I've seen enough movies.
Yeah. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
I have a second child. I have a daughter. Yes.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Oh, you waited a little bit.
Yeah. So because I was dead set. We had the son. We hit the jackpot. We were done. And then my wife was like, let's have another one. I went, I don't know. Plus, she had a really bad pregnancy. She was sick for the entire time, throwing up. And
then another C-section?
And then another C-section. So my wife had a little bit of a curved pelvis. I'm sure she loves me.
I always knew that about
Yeah. And so if you have a baby, they don't want to risk the head having damage, so it's easier to do the C-section. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we did it again.
Yeah, and that's it though. 1 and 1 and we're out. We got out after
1 and 1.
1 and 1. We got a boy and a girl. And we're good. Yeah.
2 and through.
Yeah. Now, so Jo said you did not go to the SNL 50th reunion.
I did go.
You did go. I
yeah,
thought.
I did.
Yeah,
I
thought
thought you didn't. Yeah.
No, I just didn't get much airtime. That's all.
Oh.
Do you, was it as I thought as a fan of the show for years? I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great.
I thought it was awesome. Just to be there was awesome because there was so many nights of like celebration. The first night on a Friday was at Radio City Music Hall, and they had a lot of the bands there and sketches. And, I mean, it was just eye candy the whole night. And my son was able to come. And my wife,
that's awesome.
So he started to think I'm pretty cool because Will Ferrell knows me.
Yeah.
But Mike, that was so long ago for me. That was like over 30 years ago.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't. I mean, because it was so intense at the time.
Yeah.
I was just telling somebody, I don't know, it was on a YouTube a podcast that you're always trying to get Lorne Michaels' approval when you're on the show.
Yes.
And that never leaves you. 30 years later, I could be, making my bed and think, I wonder if Lorne would be happy with me pulling the sheets up this far,
Do you know this morning, I got up this morning, I was brushing my teeth, thinking about you being on the show today.
And being sexy.
Mm-hmm. And I said, the one thing about Lorne Michaels, and I don't know him, I've met him a couple of times, the one thing about him is he's never laughs. How do you know that you have his approval? It seems like he never laughs at anything.
That's why you're always fighting for the approval.
Right.
But this 50th was amazing. It was everywhere I looked. There's Eddie Murphy comes in the room. We talked for a while.
Yeah.
Because we did Daddy Daycare together.
Yeah.
And so, and then there's Meryl Streep and Steve Martin. I met Keith Richards and Robert De Niro.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Who did you meet that you were like, I can't believe I'm getting to meet this person?
Well, Caroline Kennedy was sitting in front of me.
Right.
John F. Kennedy's daughter.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe I was finally meeting her. And, there wasn't much said.
Are you a big history guy? Are you like...
I'm a history buff, but I haven't started buffering yet. I'm still kind of gearing up.
All right, let me ask you this. Who is the one person that was there that you're like, how'd they get in?
Me. What do you mean? I don't know. I've always been like, I had that imposter syndrome on the show because I was not a sketch player.
Yeah.
And I was just happy to be there and happy every year I survived. And I survived for 9 years in that show. And other people would get in and get out because they wanted to be a star overnight. And I thought, they just don't know. And I was happy like working every week with these different bands, Mick Jagger, Aerosmith.
You say you're not a sketch player, but you were in one of the most famous sketches, The Italian Restaurant. That had to be one of the most famous sketches of all time.
I don't know if it's the most famous, but everybody asked me what's my favorite sketch. And I said,
that was great. Where they were all making out with Kirstie Alley. He was married and stuff.
Yeah, come to the Italian restaurant. She loves this restaurant because it's Italian. It's authentic Italian restaurant. And, she's my wife. And we go in there. And, the maitre d' kisses her, and then the waiter comes over, starts rubbing her shoulders, and it escalates. Until, Dana's a waiter, and he's dry humping Victoria on the table behind us. And then I finally get her out of there. I said, we got to get out of here. What, honey? This is what they do. And we're leaving. As we're leaving, there's a big picture window. And all the waiters come running over there. Santa comes out with a Speedo on. That's all he's got on. Everybody's like licking the window. So that was a great sketch.
Yeah, it was great.
I did like that. The other one I like, and it's because I write it, I'm not saying that's why I like it. It was one of the last sketches I did was the bathroom attendant sketch.
Oh, yeah.
With Harvey Keitel.
Yes.
It's a small bathroom. I'm the bathroom attendant. There's just about enough room for me in there. And then there's the toilet with no stall. And Harvey Keitel comes in and he thinks I'm using the bathroom. I said, no, I'm the bathroom attendant. So I help him throughout the whole thing. It's very awkward.
At that time, you're like, I can't believe I'm acting with Harvey Keitel. This is the greatest thing ever.
It's the craziest thing in the world. But that 50th reunion was it was one for the books.
Can you tell me about your audition, because we watched all the SNL 50 stuff on Peacock that they're showing, and they show a lot of the actors' auditions. So what were you doing before? Were you doing stand up?
I was doing stand up.
Yeah, in LA or
yeah,
okay.
In LA and around the country.
Right.
I was touring, and I did some commercials, and I did a couple of little spots on TV shows.
Right.
And Dana Carvey and I shared a house in the Hollywood Hills for a while with a couple other guys.
Who else? Famous guys?
Robert De Niro, one for one. Going through a divorce, and no, it was one was a writer friend of mine who's passed away since, and another one, another comic called Bob Duback.
Okay.
So, so Dana got the show, and I was excited for him.
Yeah.
And then he recommended me for the show, and I auditioned.
Was Dana doing stand up as well?
Yeah. I knew him from the stand up
circuit.
Yeah. And he was doing Church Lady in his act, and I was doing Mr. Subliminal in my act.
Mr. Subliminal.
Yeah. So that's how that kind of came about. But I was really excited to be at that show.
They say that's the worst thing you could do is recommend a friend while you're on the show. And Dana evidently did not.
I think he recommended because he knew I didn't do any characters or accents, so
Right.
that would give him more time. And at the time, also, I was dating Jan Hooks. Who was on the show.
Oh, you weren't dating her before?
I was dating her before. I was great friends with her for 6 years.
Right.
We were the best friends. We had the most fun, the most laughs. It was amazing. And she never wanted to go out. She was always going out with, like scrubby writers and stuff. And one night, I don't know, it just kicked in, maybe the right, alcohol mixture or something. And we became boyfriend and girlfriend for a year before SNL. And then we get on that show together, and it was just horrible.
Horrible to be dating her while you're on the show, working together, being together, and then the stress of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, all of that stuff. And she had severe stage fright, so I had to help her through that. And then when we broke up, we were still on the show.
Still had to work together.
It's kind of hard to be on the show together.
Yeah.
Who
broke up with who?
I broke up with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she said I wasn't sexy enough. I didn't know how to talk to her. She said, "You're so silly, man."
Yeah.
If she knew your baby delivering skills, she might have stuck around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So now you're having to see her every day and work with her every day, but I mean, is she? Was it over, or was she jealous of you now? Like if you're talking to other girls and stuff, you have to deal with that. Oh wow.
Yeah, we had an agreement that we wouldn't bring anybody we're dating to the studio.
Right.
And then I forgot about that agreement because I had to keep this new girl I was dating to show her that I was actually on the show.
Right.
I had to bring her.
In person.
Yeah. But no, it was difficult, and I've heard that that's been the case a few times with different couples on that show.
Sure.
But not Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her husband Brad.
Right.
Yeah.
They were able to do it.
What is she doing? You think she's drinking baby blood? How does she look so young? It's amazing how good she still looks.
Yeah. No, I know. Some people take care of themselves.
I know.
I said some people, Michael.
I understand.